My father was born in Italy, came to this country when he was 3. He became a butcher, a union butcher, married my mother, who was an office worker and then a substitute teacher. The dinner table would always be a debate. He would always try and bait me about the issue of the day, whether it was issues regarding women or the Vietnam War at the time. After my dad passed away, I had just entered my sophomore year at Montclair State and really wasn't sure how I was going to manage to stay in. I had my father's veterans benefits and his Social Security death benefits, monthly checks that really made the difference. When I graduated, it was another recession. I just couldn't find a job. And as fate would have it, there was a fire in the basement of my apartment building and I lost what little I had. That really was the defining moment for me. I knew I could be a lawyer and make a living, so it was a very practical decision choosing law school. I had 4 children in very rapid fire succession in my 30s. My 30s are really a blur. It took off some time to raise them, and I got involved in the small town that I lived in Metuchen.
She was always running against the odds. She was always the underdog when she ran for borough council, when she ran for state senate.
It was no cakewalk, even then, so she's not used to easy roads.
Accomplishments that I'm most proud of, I think would have to be the paid family leave. If you had a child or wanted to adopt a child, or you had a 6th family member, you had to choose between staying home to take care of them even for a little while and losing your job. Second was the anti-bullying legislation, and this really was as a result of experiences one of my children had in school.
Her contribution in this field will be felt in a generation.
I met Senator Buono about 5 or 6 years ago in her legislative office, and I went with a bunch of colleagues to register some concerns about a bill that was pending before the legislature that she had sponsored. I went in there to oppose that bill and to explain to her why we, especially small business people, opposed it. She heard what I had to say as a businessman and what my colleagues and I had to say, and she came up with exceptions to the bill that made sense.
13 years ago, I was told by the administrator of our hospital that Assemblywoman Barbara Buono would be coming to our institute, the Neuroscience Institute, to talk about stroke centers because she had an idea for legislation to create stroke centers. She managed to navigate the waters of being in the minority party but working with the chair of the health committee, who was in the majority party, to move it forward. Okay, so now what? Now what do we do? And she says, oh no, at this point, we hand it off to OLS and it's going to move its way through the committees and the legislature. And I said, whoa, but what do we do next? I remember her just sort of pausing and this silence on the phone. It was time to ask her out. We were married in 2002. There were certainly challenges in merging families. It turned out to be a very cute scene. One of us would read to the girls before they went to sleep, so they'd all line up. They actually pushed their beds together so that it was like one huge bed.
In my humble opinion, anybody who can mother 6 children can run the state of New Jersey with one hand tied behind her back.
She's someone who will make a difference for the average person, for the little guy, if you will, in our state.
She is not going to always do the political calculus the way that most people do. She's going to listen to other people, and then she's going to fight for what she thinks is right.
She's always been a beacon of success and really never let anything, push her down.
These issues that she talks about every day have real immediate meaning to her based on how she grew up, where she grew up, the people she knows now. She really wants all of these things to be better. She wants people to have jobs. She wants people to have opportunity. It's her own story.
Knowing that New Jersey was there for me, New Jersey made me who I am. My first priority will be to stand up for the working people of New Jersey and to ensure everyone has their opportunity to have that piece of the American dream.